Hello and welcome to Coffee with the Angels. I'm Katie Kiefer of AwakenTheInnerLight.com and CoffeeWithTheAngels.com. Today is March 22nd, 2018. And I just had a breakfast sandwich, so forgive me. So Coffee with the Angels is where I sit down in the morning and do a writing exercise. And this one I can actually read fairly well. So in some videos, you'll probably notice I'm like having trouble reading it because the handwriting is different. If you looked through this book, some of the handwriting is vastly different, and sometimes it's troublesome to read it. So today's is easy, thank goodness. I appreciate it when it's easy to read. So it is just a writing exercise that I do. And if you are looking for guidance for yourself, I really recommend a writing exercise of some sort, writing or drawing, where you sit down and you can tune into your heart space. I like to connect in first with that pure essence of unconditional love, which I use the Theta Healing technique to do. We go up and out and through the layers of light, through the golden light, through a jelly-like substance, and into a sparkling white iridescent light. And you can find that on YouTube with Vianna Stibal. Or you could also go to awakentheinnerlight.com and click on the Theta Healing tab, and there's a video there that walks you through that meditation. And I mean, it's seconds. And once you get into that iridescent light, then tune into the heart space. I find that works best for me. That's just my preference. But there's information there at awakentheinnerlight.com to do that. So I tune in from the heart space. So I go up and then I kind of come back down and I see the angels and they start to give me information. I start to just these thoughts and I hear things. And then if I kind of get stuck or it's really quiet and like, I know there's more coming, or if my brain starts to take over, then I can go back up and connect in with the iridescence. I go into my heart space and center, and then the messages start to flow more. So that's how this process works for me. And if you're looking for being able to have guidance and what are your next steps, what are you working on, what's happening for you, you can do a variation of this for yourself and just see if it fits for you. And notice I said you do a variation of this for yourself and see if it fits for you. Today's message of the angels is don't try. So, and I'm hearing we're going to roll right into the reading. So here we go. The angels say, don't try. There is no such thing as try, not really. Try is simply a failed attempt, which is a doing. You don't try painting, you do it, then decide if you want to do it again. Try is so often used as a cop-out to avoid actually doing something you really have no desire to do. It is often fear that promotes the try syndrome, a weak attempt at best, which is still a doing, to make someone else happy or create a false appearance for your own benefit. Self-honesty is something so many of you struggle with. No other creature on earth behaves this way. It is a human condition, and one you have the power to change. No trying, do. Get seriously honest with yourself and stop trying. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with others with good discernment on how much information to actually share. Some of you are overly honest with your thoughts, but not your motives. Explore your motives. What is it that drives you to speak and behave as you do? Good discernment is necessary, for there is a proper amount of information for everything and every situation. Too little or too much both can cause problems. It is your motives that matter. Deep down in the core, that is where your greatest healing happens, where your sacred self emerges from. To bring forth your sacred self, you must work to this depth. You do or you don't. You are successful or not. There is no such thing as trying, not really. So shift your language, shift your mindset away from trying and to doing. Success does not indicate if you did it or not. Do and fail. Do and succeed. Just do. Don't try. So that's what the angels had to say. And this is a concept that has been floating around for me for a while. I mean, we're all so familiar with Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. And it's like I've known this. But as a collective species, as the collective of humanity, were you ever taught to not try? I mean, we just have a problem with the word itself. There really is just a problem with the word itself, because attempt could be used in that place. But the truth is, so often try ends up used, past tense anyway. Well, I tried. So often it's in the sense of failure. A lot of times there's a whininess to it. Think about kids. And I'm sure you know some adults. And you know, the truth is, I've been one. You know, I have been the whiny adult who tried and failed. And you know what? It was all a cover. It was all a cover for what was up underneath. And that underneath was either I didn't want to do it. I had no desire for it whatsoever. Trying to make somebody else happy. For me, that's how a lot of things have happened, that I've tried to make other people happy. And it doesn't work. So there's no point. Fill your own happiness tank. Don't try. Do. And then when your happiness tank is full, it just overflows. You can overflow it, and it's wonderful. When your motive is to be well, or to see someone else well, that is noble. Where we run into the problem is, I want them to be well so I can feel okay. I need them to be in this particular state so I am safe. I need that out there so when those are the motives, that's where we really run into problems. And that's also a disownment of your own power. It is so vitally important to get to the bottom of those motives. Why? Why do you want somebody else to be happy? Because you genuinely want them to be happy? Because you just think people should be happy? Is that really true? Some of this stuff is so subtle and so quiet. And if you've been doing a lot of healing work, there's a lot of stuff that gets really quiet. Especially if it's that subconscious attempting to keep you from seeing it, it will get whisper soft. And it does that because there's that fear of discovery. If your subconscious feels that these motives or beliefs or feelings are serving you and are part of your survival and benefit, if the subconscious thinks that, it's going to hide it from you. And so we have to get good at listening for and learning those very quiet things. The very quiet things. Excuse me. So just the other day, I was talking with somebody, and I heard myself say, I don't have a choice. Forward is the only way. And I've probably said it in videos too and didn't actually catch it. Or I did. I just wasn't paying attention to the depth of it. But as I was sitting with somebody the other day, I really heard myself. I don't have a choice. Forward is the only way. I can't go back. And they looked at me and said, you always have a choice. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't have a choice. I heard myself say it, but it didn't really register for about an hour. About an hour after that is when it really sunk in. Oh my God, I just said I don't have a choice. There's this piece that's still a victim somewhere. It's those kinds of things that will trip us up, even when we are on our path, when we are reaching in and that sacred self is coming out. It is these very quiet things that could be easily explained away. You can explain it away if you want to. You can ignore it or avoid it if you want to. I don't recommend that. I recommend that you don't even try. I recommend that you get in and do something about it. Failed attempts are still attempts. It is still a doing that goes into it. Whether you are successful or it fails, it doesn't matter. And that is so important. It is really important to understand that we need to understand ourselves more. And do we need to understand where all of it comes from? Not necessarily. Sometimes we do kind of have to get into things because we need the benefit. Some people just enjoy knowing where things come from, and that's fine. But I've done the whole, I don't need to understand why, what, where, who, when, where. I don't need to know that. We're just going to change it. And you know what? I missed a big piece when I did that. And so there's times that that's okay, and there's times that it's not. And things get so quiet. It is very, very important to be able to have the discernment when you get the discernment and learn to listen to the quiet whispers. It's okay if you don't hear it at first. You may notice yourself saying something and then all of a sudden you just realize you're saying it, and then you realize how much you've actually said it, and you're like, oh, there might be something there. You know what? That's great. The fact that you get it at all, it's really cool. So, success does not indicate if you did it or not. Do and fail, do and succeed. Just do. Don't try. So I will invite you to really work on letting go of the only way, the only proof of doing is success. And that's whatever it is. I mean, if you're just rolling a cart down the hallway, you're just moving a wheelbarrow across the yard. It doesn't matter what the activity is, whether it's physical or non-physical. Success does not indicate that you did. You can do and fail. You still did, and you deserve that credit. You deserve that credit for the effort. And the truth is, trying, when you tell or you say, I'm going to try, or I try, what happens is your subconscious mind goes, it's not that important. I don't need to do that. Eliminate try as best you can from your vocabulary. You do or you don't. You fail or you succeed. You fail until you succeed. However that works, it doesn't matter. Just do. No more trying. So there is something else where you're going to do today, which is a new thing. This is my Archangel Gabriel deck from Doreen Virtue. She's the one who created this. Now there are 3 cards missing because I did a drawing yesterday and they're now over on my crystal grid. So we will trust that none of those are the ones that would be best to pull for today anyway. Oops. And these are a little big because my hands are kind of small. So we're just going to ask Archangel Gabriel in here to show us what else we need to know here about don't try the doing. And I'm just going to pull the top card. Sensitivity. Your feelings are your muse and inspiration for your creativity. So this is the sensitivity card. And we are going to read from the book because I am not exactly proficient on this. And I like to hear what she has to say. You receive this card because you're in a period of even more heightened sensitivity than normal. During this time, it's essential to protect yourself from harsh energy. This may involve saying no to social invitations that may involve intensity beyond your present comfort levels. On a positive note, your sensitivity can be funneled into your creative projects and serve as your muse. You can be certain that other sensitive people will appreciate your revealing your truth through your art because it helps them to relate to you and not feel alone. I'm so thankful for this, and I feel humbled. I really do. You know, I've been called to do this work that I'm doing, and sometimes it gets rough. And I am very sensitive, always have been. And I had a lot of bad coping mechanisms for dealing with sensitivity. And so the idea that, it's okay to protect your sensitivity. It is okay to recognize what's going on and know how to take care of yourself. And that really can mean going against some of the social norms. And there can be a huge fear in that. And so it's really important to pay attention to you first. Just for instance, we got Easter coming up next weekend. Easter is going to be here. Well, what does that mean? That means a lot of family gatherings. It means you may end up in a situation where you have to make the choice. Do you want to go? If you're dealing with a toxic family or a judgmental family, or it's really difficult, just overwhelming for you. Even wonderful people can be overwhelming. And so whatever the case may be, so what I'm hearing here is that we get into the trying. Well, we're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do that. And that right there, when we are sensitive people, well, we're going to try to do that. That right there can be a very well-knowing, that it's not going to be good for you. You know very well that there's going to be problems. And because you even try, what happens? You don't have a good time. You don't really enjoy what's going on. Instead of preparing yourself, the doing of preparing yourself, setting your boundaries and saying, this is what I can do, this is what I need for me. So often, empaths, we give in to other people and their expectations, whether it's good for us or not. Pay attention to your sensitivity. Pay attention to your motives. Don't try. Do take care of you. And do be considerate of others. I mean, do you have to go on Easter Sunday? Do you have to do it then? Or can you really, have that time with the people you love at another time? I mean, sometimes if you've got people coming in from out of town, it really is the opportunity you have to kind of see everybody. And that's wonderful. And if you can do that, just prepare for it. Prepare yourself. But pay attention to your motives and pay attention to that quiet feeling that you have. Is that quiet feeling really just fear? Is it really the desire of you don't want to do that? And if you don't want to do that, then why? And once you figure out the why you don't want to do that, then, so the scenario that I'm seeing here is that you really want to go because there are people you really want to see. And this is, we're using Easter Sunday as a model, not necessarily, and I actually am hearing that somebody is actually dealing with this right now. So this is for you, but it also extends to any and all situations, okay? Especially when you're dealing with people, and a lot of them, especially family. Ooh. So what I'm seeing is there's somebody who really wants to go. There's 2 or 3 people that they really, really want to see, haven't seen for a while. But there's that one person, and I'm seeing like an older man. So we're talking grandpa or dad or uncle or somebody who has the tendency to just suck the life out of you. So you're in conflict, and you're in conflict because you've got the good motivation and the fear up against each other. So first of all, figuring out why that person sucks the life out of you is important, because once you disconnect that button, they can't push it anymore. Once you have what you need for you, they can't suck the life out of you anymore. It might still be difficult and uncomfortable, but you won't feel drained, and you'll be able to manage the situation better. So there's work to do in there. And you do that work, and then you can enjoy yourself more. And you know what? This is one of those things where shielding is not necessarily enough. I see people, oh, just shield yourself, just shield yourself. Yeah, that's a necessary thing. By all means, do shield yourself. But you know what? There comes a point where if there's that attraction point within you, that shielding isn't going to work, because you're inviting it in completely subconsciously, but there is an invitation. The shield eventually will not work. You have to do the inner work in order for that thing to change. This is a call for you to dive deep, get in, do your work. So this is the work that I do. You want to talk about diffusing those hot buttons, those triggers? Got to dive in and figure out why they're there. And it's nice to be able to do it with somebody else, because it can be difficult to see your own. You can get so far on your own, and that's wonderful. And I honestly believe that everybody should be able to do something for themselves. I really advocate for that. It's important that people have the capacity to do things for themselves, and then they can ask for help when it's clearly a challenge and they know something's there and they just can't see it. That's what I do. And I know other people who do the same. So this is the work that I do: diving deep, belief work, feeling work, changing and clearing out belief systems that are created through trauma and all sorts of different things. There are things we can release from the body. There's some things that the body needs to release with a somatic experience type of work, some sort of a somatic work, because I've seen things that have been released from my body with somatic work that energy work did not. Well, I guess you could call somatic work energy work, but our typical energy healing did not. It shifted it and it was better, but it didn't fully release it. That somatic piece was needed. And so there's just all sorts of things that you can do. This is the work that I do. And whether you learn something for yourself, you find other practitioners, do what's going to work for you, but get in deep, dive in and get up under those motivations. Get up under the motivations and figure out why you behave the way you do, why you speak the way you do. Pay attention to how you speak, because that's one of the challenges I've seen for myself too, is really, truly just, I just kicked the tripod. It can be hard to get in up under there. And it is important for you to be completely honest with yourself in a non-judgmental state. Just do, don't try. So if you want to find me, if you want to ask questions, if you've got, you would like to learn more, you can go to coffeewiththeangels.com and it'll take you, that's the blog page. So you can scroll to the bottom of the most recent blog posts. Not all of them have it, but like the last probably 10 or maybe even 15 will have links at the bottom of each post. There's a free consultation, which I call a cuppo, and that's a cup of coffee, a cup of tea. We just meet over Zoom. If you're in the US and need to meet by phone, we can do that. I do prefer Zoom just because it's standard and it's easy, and that is the information that comes out with when you book online. So you'll get a link for the Zoom room. And so that's just a free consultation, 30 minutes, we talk. Then if you're interested in a reading and you just need some help and some clarity, I also do intuitive readings. We can talk to the angels, we can talk to the guides and ancestors. I call them intuitive readings because they are not only specifically angel readings. Whatever comes through is what comes through, and whoever shows up, shows up. And so we just kind of go from there. I tune into the all that is and tune into your energy and the questions you have, and we just go from there. And then there's healing sessions. And the healing sessions are where we really get in and do that deep healing. We dig in, and it is called a digging process that we do. And I use the Theta Healing technique. It is the basis of what I use. It may not be the only thing that's used. We may do a rescuing of the inner child. We may be doing a few other things that are not explicitly taught or viewed as theta healing. So that's why they're called healing sessions, even though everything I do begins and ends with the theta healing technique. So if you are interested in any of that, awakentheinnerlight.com, work with Katie tab, or Coffee with the Angels, and scroll to the bottom of any of the pages and you can access it from there. If you're on YouTube watching this, there's links in the description. So I hope that you have found value in today's message. It's been very powerful for me. I mean, these messages always apply to me in some way. And this one, again, it's going to take a little while for me to process because, like, I can see some things, but I know that there's something bigger that I just haven't quite seen yet. And this will help me get in deeper. And I'm so thankful for the angels. I'm thankful for the technique of theta healing that has allowed me and taught me to do what I'm doing. I feel better than I ever have. And I really just want to share that with others, however that comes out in the unique way for me. And I hope that you do the same, that you do whatever is right for you in the way that is perfectly unique to you. Because, you know, as ordinary as we can be, we can also have those moments of uniqueness without needing to be something, you know, no needing special treatment anyway. Just recognizing how you are unique and how it works for you and how that comes out into the ordinary everyday life. So I realize this video is quite long, and I hope that you have had I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I hope that you have found value in this. And if you want to read just the text of the angel message, go to coffeewiththeangels.com and you'll look for the title, Don't Try. So, and today is March 22nd, 2018. So in the little snippet, you should see that too. Again, if you have questions, feel free to contact me. And I hope you have a fantastic day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.